Welcome to Pilates this week. So today we're going to work on a bit of an all-over Pilates session that works a little bit in standing, a little bit of abdominal strength, a little bit of stretching, just to give you a general workout today. So we're going to start with our feet together, up nice and tall. We're just going to go toes out, heels out, so that our feet are hip width apart. And I just want you to gently take the weight through the forefoot and then back through the heels. So you're just feeling that pressure go between one area of the foot and the other. We're going to come to that midpoint, so you've got equal weight through forefoot and hindfoot. We're going to come up nice and tall through the spine, and just make sure you've got equal weight through left and right legs. And then from there, we're going to lengthen through the legs, just soften through the knees, make sure you're not locked out through the kneecaps, soften through the knees. Pelvis nice and neutral, so we're going to just imagine that pelvis like a big bowl, marble at the bottom, and you're going to gently roll the marble forwards, arching through the lower back, rolling backwards, flattening down through the lower back. And moving one way, back the other. Just feel how far you go in either direction and come up to that midpoint. Halfway between the two, marble at the bottom of that bowl. You're going to lengthen through the spine, between the shoulder blades, back of the neck, crown of the head. So don't point your chin up into the ceiling, tuck that chin back, lengthen through the back of the head. Just loosen off through the shoulders. Good. And then back the other way. Any tension through the shoulders. And we're just going to bring the shoulders up towards your ears. Gently glide those shoulder blades back to so they're kind of coming together at the back, wide through the collarbones. And then just relax those shoulders down. So I want you to keep that nice gap between ear and shoulders and make sure the collarbones are nice and wide. So from here, we're going to come into foot series. So we're going to engage through those core muscles. We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to come into a little squat. Breathing in, we're going to lift the heels. Breathing out, we're going to lengthen through, and in, coming back, foot flat. So breathing out, squat down. Breathing in, lift the heels. Out as you come tall, and in as you come foot flat. Good. And again, breathe out, in, lift the heels. Lengthen through the crown of the head, so keep that length through the back, in as you come down. Good. And again, breathe out, in to lift, out to lengthen, in to come back down. Good. Keep the core switched on, putting up through the pelvic floor. Good. Breathing out, in, lengthen, down. Good. Out, in, lengthen, down. Good. Two more. Last one. Breathing out, in, lengthen, and come down. Good, nice, well done. From here, we're going to come into hip twist. So we're going to bring those feet really close together. Again, nice and neutral through the pelvis, lengthen through the spine, shoulders down. Pop your hands onto your hips so you're keeping everything from pelvis up really still. Soft knees. We're going to peel the right heel up off of the floor. And then from there, imagine you've got a pound coin underneath your right big toe. And you're going to just twist the knee out, keeping that toe and that pound coin. Breathe out, in to come back. Good. Keeping the pelvis really still. So imagine those hip bones, those pointy bits at the front here, pointing forward, keeping everything really still. So to get more movement, you'll feel like you want to twist. You're going to keep that nice neutral position. Softening on the left. And if you want to go and make it more challenging, you can bring your foot onto your shin and twist out here. But if you feel like you're really wobbling, you can't stabilise, come back into that toe and pound coin and twisting out. Breathe out to move out, in to move in. Good. Control through. Good. Last couple. And one. Good, well done. And relax down. So loosen off through the legs. Feet together, up nice and tall. Pelvis neutral, core switched on. Lengthen through the spine. Pelvis nice and still. So with the core still engaged, we're going to soften the right knee. Peel that left heel up off of the floor. Breathe out, turn out, breathe in, move in. Imagine that pound coin underneath your big toe. Keeping that toe still. Well, that toe in contact with that pound coin. Up nice and tall, everything from the pelvis up nice and still. We want to go to level 2, foot onto shin. And you can do, but if you feel really wobbly, then come back down into toe on the floor. Good. Nice and controlled, core switched on. Think lengthening through the back of the neck, crown of the head, shoulders down. Breathe out, move out. Good. Keep that right knee soft. Make sure it's not locked out. It's easy to just lock the knee out. Good. 2 more. 2. Good. And relax down. Good. Have a little loosen off. We're going to come into our roll down. This week we're going to do feet slightly wider. So toes pointing forward, feet slightly wider than your hips. If that doesn't feel right for you and you want to come into having your feet in line with your hips, then you can go with that. That's fine. Pelvis up nice and tall. Lengthen through the back of the neck, crown of the head. Core engaged. We're going to keep the pelvis still for as long as possible. We're going to tuck chin into neck and roll each vertebrae one at a time down into that roll down. Keep the pelvis up tall for as long as possible. Open up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Core stay switched on. When you can't go any further, then you can start to tip forward through the pelvis, coming down into your forward fold. We're going to lift up, pelvis first, and really, imagine you've got a tail, tuck it between your legs, work through those bottom muscles, and then stacking up one vertebra at a time, all the way through, back of the neck, crown of the head, keep the shoulders down, and again, chin into neck, roll down one vertebra at a time, control through, keep that tailbone tucked down for as long as possible. And then when you can't go any further, tip forward through the pelvis. Stacking up pelvis first. Shoulders down, lengthen through the back of the neck. Good. And again. Tailbone down first, stacking up through, keep breathing, keep those core muscles switched on. I'm going to do one more. Stacking up pelvis first. Good, well done. Let's gently bring those feet together. I'm going to come down onto the mat. So, when you come down onto the mat, just make sure that your feet come in line with knees, hips. And when we come down onto our back, our shoulders as well. And then we just find a nice neutral starting position. So we're going to just make sure the back of the neck is nice and long. You should just fit tennis ball in between chin and chest. Drop the shoulders down. Lift your bottom up and just lower it back down onto the mat. And then I want you to imagine marshmallow directly underneath belly button between spine and mat, 2 pence coin directly underneath breastbone between spine and mat. We're going to squash down onto them, lift up and away. So you can just arch your fingertips all underneath, push down, lifting up and away. Just feel how far you go in either direction. Want to find that midpoint, so about halfway down on that marshmallow. If you know you arch through that lower back naturally, bring that down a little bit further onto that marshmallow and make sure that your spine is in contact with that 2 pence coin directly underneath your breastbone. So from here we're going to come into scissors. So we're going to make sure that we're nice and neutral. We're going to take a breath in as you breathe out, engage through your core muscles pulling up through the pelvic floor as though you're going to stop yourself from passing wind. And not clenching your bottom cheek, so bottom stays relaxed, pulling up through the pelvic floor, and gently you'll feel that belly button come down towards your spine. Going to keep those core muscles switched on. Take a breath in as you breathe out. We're going to float one leg to tabletop position. Breath in as you breathe out, keeping that same pressure of your back down onto the mat, up to tabletop. Breath in as you breathe out, tapping one foot to touch the floor. Breathe in, come back. Breathe out to tap down, in to come back. So you're keeping the Same pressure of your back down onto the mat, onto that marshmallow, that 2p coin. Now the closer you tap your feet to the floor, the easier it is. If you need to work harder, you want to work harder, and you can definitely still control, tap further away, foot to mat, further away from your bottom. So you can, if you can control it through your spine, lengthen that leg down, heel taps down, come back up. Don't let the weight of the leg go down onto the mat. You're always keeping the weight of the leg through, working through the hip, through the back. Breathe out, tap down. If that's too much, you feel like you're arching, cut toaster? I don't know where that came from. Closer to your bottom. Keeping that same pressure down. And again, so if your arms are on the floor, that's slightly easier. If your arms are across your chest, slightly harder, using those core muscles a little bit more. Breathe out to tap down, in to come back up. Good. Let's do one more on either side. Good, well done. And just bring those knees into your chest and hug your knees in towards you, and then allow the arms to lengthen and the knees go away from you, and then hug back in, lengthen away. Good. And then keeping hands on the knees, do a big circle of those knees over your chest. You're just really opening up through that lower spine. Good. And then back in the other direction. Good, and then hug knees to chest one more time, and then you're going to lower one foot to the floor and bring the other one down to join it. So just make sure again, feet are in line with knees, hips and shoulders, neck's nice and long, tennis ball in between chin and chest, lift up, come down onto the mat and onto that marshmallow, onto that 2p coin. So we're going to work through the oblique abdominals now, for those rotational tummy muscles. So we're going to take a breath in as you breathe out, engage through the core muscles pulling up through the pelvic floor. Breath in as we breathe out, float one leg to tabletop. Breath in as you breathe out, float that second leg to join it. We're going to bring feet and knees together, and then we're going to float both arms straight up towards the ceiling, palms facing one another. So from here, keeping the core switched on, we're going to bring arms out wide, take both knees across to one side, but I want you to hold it there and bring your arms to the centre, and then bring the knees back to the centre. So breathing in to move your arms, both knees across to the opposite side to last time, hands come to the centre, knees come to the centre. So judge how far you can go, hold it there, keep the shoulders flat, bring the arms back to the centre, and then bring the knees up. If you feel your shoulders are peeling up as you bring your arms back up off of the floor back towards the ceiling, you can't keep your shoulders on the floor, then you're probably going a bit too far with your knees. So start small and kind of just slowly build up as you feel you can control. And we're going to make sure that that lower back stays nice and long. So although you're twisting your lower back off the mat one side, back through to the centre, and then across to the other side, you're not arching through that lower back. So if you are bringing your knees back to the centre and you're arching through the lower back, think about bringing the belly button in towards your spine, control it, use those tummy muscles to come back through to the centre. In to move your arms, breathing out to bring the legs to the side, breathing in to bring the arms back to the centre, out to bring the knees up. If you find the breathing hard, just make sure you're breathing. Breathing's better than holding your breath. So keep breathing. If you're not breathing as I suggest, I don't mind. We can build up to that. In to move your arms, out to move your knees. Keep that back nice and long. Keep working through those tummy muscles. Good. We're going to do last ones to either side. Good, well done. Lower one foot to the floor, bring the other one down to join it. Take both arms up above your head, lengthen through one leg, lengthen through the other. Have a big stretch through. Breathing in as you reach fingertips and toes away from one another. Breathing out, relaxing down, good. And again, breathing in, reach away, breathing out, sink down into the mat. A couple more times, breathing in to reach, out to relax. Good, and again. Good, come back down, arms to the side. Float one, bring one leg back up in line with your knee and hip onto the mat, and then the other one to join it. And then we're just going to work through the hip. So again, I'm going to give you a couple of options with this one in terms of levels. So we'll start with level 1, and then I'll show you level 2 if you feel you want to try it. But if it's too much or just level 1 feels like it's doing enough for you, then stick with that one. Lengthen through the back of the neck, shoulders down, coming onto that marshmallow, that 2p coin. Breath in as you breathe out, engage through the core muscles. Breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to float one leg to tabletop. So from here, I want you to so you're going to imagine that you're going to take a paintbrush from your knee, so it follows your thigh all the way up towards the ceiling, and we're going to draw a small circle on the ceiling with that paintbrush that's touched from your knee up towards the ceiling. So we're going to keep the pressure through both sides of the back the same, making sure you're not lifting off that marshmallow, that 2p coin. We're going to breathe out, circle that knee away, breathe in, come back to complete the circle. Breathing out, circle away, breathing in, coming back. Now the size of that circle depends on what you can control, keeping the same amount of pressure through your back. The other thing I want you to be aware of is that don't put loads of pressure through that opposite leg, the one that's on the floor, because it's easy to fix through that leg and not use your core. So keep the nice soft foot on the right, circling around on the left. And the other thing that people tend to want to do is circle their toes. But I want you to think that paintbrush pointing all the way through your thigh, follow the line up towards the ceiling. Now if you want to try level 2, we're going to lengthen through that leg, and we're going to circle. And again, pointing the toes, there's that continued line. Just change direction of the circles if you haven't already. If you need a slight soft knee, then that's fine, but make sure that circle's coming from the hip. And again, make sure you're not circling the ankle. Lots of people I find tend to circle their ankle and think they're doing really well and keeping really still, but actually you want to circle from the hip, keeping everything nice and still from there. Good. Okay, one more circle in that direction, and then we're going to bend back to tabletop, float the leg back down, make sure those core muscles are still engaged, reset them if you need to, float the right leg to tabletop, and you can either circle from the knee, or if you're happy to, lengthen through that leg and circle through the whole leg, keeping everything really nice and still of your back on the mat, not lifting up, not rocking side to side. And again, if your arms are by your side, it's slightly easier. If your arms are across your chest, then it's slightly harder. And you're really firing up through those core muscles. Good. Change direction of those circles. Keep that control, keep that leg nice and long, and remember the leg that's the floor nice and soft and gentle, no claw toes trying to stabilise you. Good, last couple, and one, and then back to tabletop, lower the foot to the floor. We're going to bring our arms out wide, bring feet and knees together, and then look in one direction as you roll the knees across to the other. Try and keep the shoulders flat, just opening up through that top side of the body. Good. Take one more breath in there, and then gently with control roll those knees back to the centre. We're going to go across to the other side, look away from your knees, keep the shoulders flat. And then with control, roll those knees back through to the centre. Good. From there, we're going to roll over and turn that over and come up onto all fours. I'm going to get you just to try and fire through those bottom muscles a little bit. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. If you want to, you can just bring the hands slightly forward in front of the shoulders. Go kind of see what feels best for you. We're going to just set up in this position so you're nice and long through the spine. So just have a little arch and hollow through the spine, and then lengthen through. And make sure that that neck is a nice long extension of your spine. So no kind of chin to chest, letting your head go really heavy. We're going to really lengthen up through the spine and drop the shoulders away from your ears so you're not sinking into the shoulders. So to do that, just lift that breastbone up, shoulders away from ears, nice long spine. We're going to engage through the core muscles, and then from there we're going to try and keep the back really nice and still, but we're going to breathe out and lift that foot up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, come back down, breathe out. So you're keeping that knee at 90 degrees and trying not to arch through that lower back too much. So think about pulling that spine, that belly button, so pulling that belly button up towards the spine, so it's really easy to want to kind of arch through. Shoulders nice and strong, breathe out, push up, keep that belly button in towards your spine, in to come down. Good, in to come down. Think about pushing that heel up towards the ceiling, spine staying nice and long. Good. Really think about belly button and breastbone being pulled up towards your spine. 2 more. Last one. Good, well done. Relax off. Shoulders away from ears, strong through the spine, strong through the back of the neck, core switched on. Breathing out, push up, breathing in, come back down, breathing out, heel to ceiling, in, come back down. Keep that belly button pulled up towards your spine. Try and squeeze that bottom, lifting up. Good. Keep the spine nice and long, especially through the neck as well. Shoulders away from ears. Push that heel up, keep the belly button pulled up. Don't arch through that lower back too much. Good. Feel that bottom cheek working. Breathe out, push up, in to come down. 3, 2, and 1. Good, well done. And relax down. Just have a little sit back onto your heels, stretch out through the arms, forehead down towards the mat. Nice big breath down into the lower ribs. Last breath in there, and then we're gently going to come back up onto all fours. I'm going to come in to thread the needle. So same position, same starting position. Hands are underneath your shoulders or just in front, long through the spine. So have a little arch and hollow, come along through the spine, shoulders down, neck nice long extension of the spine, core switched on. And then from there, we'll just start off by threading the needle just with the arms. I was threading the needle, sounded like I'd had a drink, sorry. Coming back up, so breathe out. Sliding through. Ear and shoulder are coming towards the mat, but no pressure of your upper body or head onto the mat. They're just coming to skim the mat. Breathe in to come back up. And then if you want, you can add in an opposite leg lengthen. So right arm, left leg lengthens. Left arm, right leg lengthens. Keep those core muscles switched on. That feels challenging enough, you can stay there, or you can just stay with the arms, leave the leg through, or if you want to, you can then lift up the leg back towards the opposite wall, so you're lengthening all the way through. Keep those core muscles switched on and help you to balance. And again, you're not leaning on your head or your shoulder, you're controlling through your core. So if it feels like it's too much, then just come back into foot on floor, coming back through. Good. Stay strong through the shoulders, long through the neck. Good. We're going to do one more on either side. Keep that control. Breathe out to thread. And to come back. Good, well done. Nice and long through the spine again, and then we're going to come into our cat-cow stretches. So breathe out, chin to chest, lift up through the belly button, up through the breastbone. Imagine you've got a tail, tuck it between your legs, and then breathing in, lift the tail, lower belly button, breastbone. Look forward, drop the shoulders away from your ears. Breathe out, curling through. Breathing in, lengthening through the front, shortening down through the back. Good, and again. One more time in either direction. Good. Lengthen through the spine. And then from there, I'm going to get you just to gently come down onto onto your front from all fours. Hands just slightly in front of your shoulders. And I just want you to really look after the lower back. So do what you feel is comfortable in this. And again, a small movement, if that's enough for you, then that's fine. Or even maybe laying on your front might be enough. But what we're going to do is engage through those core muscles. Take a breath in as you lift up onto elbows. And breathe out as you come back down. So breath in, lifting up. If you want to lengthen through the arms a little bit, you can do. If that doesn't feel right for your lower back, don't. Just go as far as you feel comfortable going. So I don't mind if that's literally just a little lift of breastbone slightly or shoulders off the mat and then coming back down. You need to do what's best for you, but often we're quite stiff into that extension through the lower back. Good. Breathe in, coming up, breathing out. Coming back down. Good, let's do two more. Last one. Good, well done. And then we're going to gently come back up onto all fours and then come into sitting. We'll just have a little stretch out in this position, just through the spine and neck. So up nice and tall, equal weight through the sitting bones. I don't mind if you want to do this in sitting on a chair, that's absolutely fine. Go with what feels kind of most comfortable for you. From there, right hand onto the mat, left hand reaching fingertips towards the ceiling and coming over. Try to keep the sitting bones down, just opening up through the left side of the body. And then gently coming back up and over, left hand to mat, right hand up, fingertips to ceiling and over to the left side, opening up through the right side of the body. Keep breathing, keep those sitting bones down, equal weight through both sides. Good, and then coming back up and over. Good, and from there we're just going to gently do a little rotation stretch. So I'm going to get you to bring your right hand onto your left knee, bring your left hand behind you to the back edge of the mat, and just gently, so really long through the spine, gently rotate round to that left side, looking behind you, opening up through the spine and through the neck. Good, one more breath in there. And then gently coming back through to the centre, left hand on right knee, right hand behind you, long through the spine, twist to the right, just gently work what feels good for you. Good. And then gently coming back through to the centre. I just want you to do a couple of nice circles through the shoulders. Good. Drop those shoulders down and back, wide through the collarbones, nice gap here to shoulders. And then we're just going to go chin to chest. Keep breathing, and as you breathe out, just think about those shoulders sinking down away from the ceiling, elbows nice and heavy. And then from there, keep that chin to the chest, but then go ear to shoulder, and you should feel it. If you go ear to shoulder on your left, you should feel a big stretch through that right side. But again, keep breathing and keep those shoulders away from your ears, elbows just gently heavy. And then gently roll the chin back to the chest in the centre, and then across to the other side. Opening up through the side of the neck that you're moving away from. Come back, chin to chest in the centre. Stack that spine up nice and long, and then from there we're just going to do a couple of little roll downs. So we're going to think about being up nice and tall, almost like you're leaning on a wall behind you. We're going to go chin to neck, so really tuck that chin in. Imagine you're holding a pen underneath your chin, and then you're going to roll down, chin to chest. You're going to then sink that breastbone deep into the rib cage, so you're cutting through that upper spine. And then we're going to roll down through each vertebrae one at a time. Big curve through the spine. You're going to try and keep your shoulders over your hips and just do a big C-shaped curve of the spine. So you're almost rolling off those sitting bones. Well, you are rolling off those sitting bones. And then really opening up. And then we're going to stack up onto the sitting bones. Pelvis comes up tall, lengthening one vertebrae at a time as you lengthen through the spine, through that mid-spine, in between the shoulder blades, lengthening through the back of the neck, crown of the head. We're going to do one more. So really think about each vertebrae moving one at a time, chin into neck, and then rolling down towards chest. Stay tall on the sitting bones for now, sinking down, then rolling backwards off of the sitting bones, big C-shaped curve of the spine, and then stacking up sitting bones, pelvis, lengthening one vertebrae at a time, through that spine, through the mid-spine, up through the shoulder blades, shoulders down away from your ears, lengthening through the back of the neck, crown of the head. Just take a couple of nice breaths in there, breathing in, lengthen through the spine, breathing out, relax the shoulders down. Good, one more time. Good work, well done. I hope you enjoyed that kind of all over general workout for your body. Take care, and I shall see you next time. Bye.